Hello my dear students, as you can see from the slide, you can make out that today the topic of discussion is banking. We all know that all the business, whether it is big or small, they require funds to carry out its activities. So here comes the role of the banks. Banking and other financial institutions removes hindrance of finance by providing adequate funds to the business firms for obtaining assets, buying new raw materials and meeting other expenditure. So you can anticipate, so you can very well imagine that how much banking or banks are important to a business organization. So we can say that banking is an important institution of economy. What they do? They stimulates economic activity in the market by dealing in money. You cannot deal money or funds or capital without the involvement of banks. They mobilizes savings of people and make funds available to the business. As you all know that we have savings account in our banks where we saves our money, and all those money that we put into the bank are being given to the various business establishment for their use. They also deals in financial instruments. Those financial instruments we will discuss now. Coming to the definition of the banking, according to the Banking Regulation Act 1949, banking means accepting deposits for the purpose of lending or investment of deposits of money from the public, repayable on demand or otherwise, and withdrawal by check, draft, order or otherwise. Means banks, they accept deposits. Why they accept? For further lending to the various business establishment or for further investment in other sources. From where they are getting the deposits? They are getting the deposits from the public generally, and afterwards those money means that are being deposited in the bank, they are repayable to the customers or to the public when and where they require it by the various means like check, demand draft, pay order and others. All these functions of banks are not done by only one type of banks, but there are various types of banks in India that you can see in the slide. The first one is central bank, second cooperative banks, third one commercial banks. Commercial banks again is categorized into two, public sector and private sector, and the fourth one is specialized bank, which are again categorized into industrial, regional, rural and import export banks. We will discuss all these banks in detail. Let's start with central bank. Now, as you can see, central bank is the government banker, and for us in India it is Reserve Bank of India. We all know that Reserve Bank of India act as a government banker. What they do? They supervises, they controls and regulates the activities of all other commercial banks. Clear? They also controls and coordinates currency and credit policies of any country. So that's why they are known as central bank, because the whole banking system is dependent on Reserve Bank of India. The next bank is the cooperative bank. These banks are governed by the provisions of State Cooperative Societies Act. This act you have studied already while studying the cooperative society. Clear? The cooperative banks are meant essentially for providing cheap credit to their members. That we all know why cooperative banks or cooperative societies were formed. Okay, they are an important source of rural credit, that is agricultural financing in India. The example given is NABARD, National Banking for Agricultural and Rural Development. Clear? The next bank is the commercial bank. Commercial banks are governed by Indian Banking Regulation Act. What they do? They accept deposits of money from the public for the purpose of lending or investment. Clear? it means we can say that commercial banks are purely into the, means they were formed totally for the commercial purposes. Clear? They are of two types: public sector banks and private sector banks. So you can see various examples of all those commercial banks that you have come across in your daily life also. Now we will discuss public sector and private sector. Coming to the public sector banks in India, public sector banks are those banks in which the government has a major stake, and they usually need to emphasize on the social objective than an profitability. The examples of private sector banks in India you can see in the slide. One of the main example is SBI, State Bank of India. Various other examples are also given. You may not be confused because now the merger has been taken place, so many banks now they have lost their existence. Clear? So coming to the private sector banks in India, as you can see, private sector banks are owned, managed and controlled by private promoters, and they are free to operate as per market forces. Examples again given in the slide: ICICI Bank, Yes Bank, Axis Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank and many others. Their main objective is to earn maximum profit so that they can easily compete with other foreign banks. Clear? Now coming to the specialized banks in India. These are foreign exchange banks, industrial banks, development banks, import-export banks, which are there or which are formed to cater the specific needs of these unique activities. What they do? They provide financial aids to industries, heavy turnkey projects and foreign trade. Examples that you can see in the slides, two examples been given: IDBI Bank, that is Industrial Development Bank of India, and the another one is Exim Bank. Exim Bank stands for Export Import Bank of India. Now after the types of banks, let's move on to the functions of commercial banks. We will discuss only the commercial banks in details. The first one is acceptance or accepting deposits. Yes, we know that banks, they accept deposits, and it is its primary function, acceptance of deposits. The next one is lending of funds, means providing credit facilities. This is again one of the main function of any of the commercial bank. Clear? The third one is providing payment and withdrawal facilities. Banks generally they give check facilities to their customers so that they can withdraw the money when and where required, and it is the most convenient and inexpensive medium of exchange. The fourth function of commercial banks given in book is remittance of funds. Here you can see that they provide they help in interbanking transaction, means transfer of funds from one bank to another or from one place to another through various instruments like bank drafts, pay orders, mail transfers, like this. Clear? And the fifth one is allied services, that you can see that they help us with many other utility services. They provide us with that we can pay the utility bills. They give us the safety by providing us with the locker facility. They help in buying and selling the shares, debentures and other securities on behalf of the customers. They help us in the payment of insurance premium, taxes, collection of dividend, and finally they act as a trustee or executor. All comes under the various other heads. Now we will discuss the various types of bank accounts or bank deposits accounts. This topic is very much important. You must watch this thing very attentively, as these things are not given in your NCERT book. So you all are advised to make notes from the video. Now once again, coming to the various types of bank deposits account. The first one is savings deposit account, second one is recurring deposit account, then current deposit accounts, fixed deposit accounts, and the finally it is multi option deposit account, that is MOD. FD. Let's start with savings deposit account. The primary objective of the savings account is to encourage the savings habit among the citizen or among the common people. Clear? These accounts can be opened by depositing a small sum of money in any of the commercial bank. After having the account in the bank, the checkbook facility is given along with the debit card so that withdrawal of the money will be easier for the customer or the bank account holder, and all the transactions are recorded in the passbook, means how much amount when it has been deposited in an account and what was the withdrawal. Next account is current deposit account. These deposits are most suitable for a business enterprise. The bank generally does not pay any interest on these deposits because it has to keep itself always prepared to honor the commitment towards the account holder. Clear? And there is no restriction on the number and amount of deposits or the withdrawal, unlike savings account. It means that there are certain restrictions on the maximum amount that can be deposited or the number of withdrawal from any of the savings account. These things are not applicable in current deposit accounts. Overdraft facility is available to the account holder. What is overdraft? This financial instrument we will discuss afterwards. Next is recurring deposit. It is a special kind of term deposit in which a fixed amount is deposited for a specific period or specified period every month. The amount together with the interest is repaid after the maturity to the account holder, and the rate of interest is higher than that of savings account. It means a depositor can deposit a fixed amount of money, that we can say, take an example, rupees 200 on monthly basis in his or her RD account for a fixed period of time, that you can say for 5 years, 10 years or whatever. The amount means after the maturity date, the total amount along with the interest money is repaid to the account holder. Now coming to the fixed deposit account, that is FD. Again, these accounts are term deposits. Why term deposits? Terms have been used because money is invested or deposited for a fixed period of time. They are time specific deposits. You can see it's a term deposits where a fixed amount of money is deposited with the bank for a fixed period of time and at a fixed rate of interest. That is also for a longer period of time. Generally people fix their money, and that also a lump sum huge amount of money in the fixed deposit. High rate of interest is paid, and again like RD, after the maturity, the initial deposited amount along with the interest added to the money are given back to the or repaid to the fixed deposit account holder. And the last one is MOD accounts, that is multiple or multi-option deposit accounts. They are also term deposits account linked to the savings or current account. Current account, that also the individual one, not to the current account of any in the name of the business firm. Deposits which are in excess of a set limit gets automatically transferred into FD. On the other hand, in case of adequate funds are not available in the savings account to honor a check issued, or if the withdrawal is required, the required amount gets automatically transferred from fixed deposit account to the savings deposit account. This is known as the auto sweep facility that is given in the MOD. Clear? The high rate of interest is paid to the account holder. After the discussion of various types of accounts, now we will look into the services offered by modern banks or types of banking services. Here you can see bank draft, banker's check, overdraft, cash credit, internet banking, and mobile banking. Out of these six, first four, bank draft, banker's check, overdraft, and cash credit, are the financial instruments that are being provided by the banks to their account holders. And internet banking and mobile banking basically are types of e-banking, and these facilities are also provided by the banks. Let's start with bank draft. Bank draft is also called as demand draft. Basically, they are the documents which is given by a bank to any customer for remitting it in a later stage by another party or to any bank. So we can say that it is a financial instrument with the help of which a money can be remitted from one person to another or from one place to another. A bank draft can be obtained by depositing the required amount of money in the bank along with the charges of making bank draft. The bank charges little bit commission, and they issue the bank draft in the name of the institution or of the person to whom the payment has to be done. I hope you all must be familiar with the demand draft or the bank draft. The next instrument is banker's check. Banker's check, again a familiar name. It is the most convenient and inexpensive medium of the exchange and withdrawal of funds. It is generally of two types, bearer checks and cross checks. Bearer checks means which are encashable immediately at the bank counters, and it can be encashed by the person who is carrying the check, and if the check is in the name of self. And cross checks are those checks which are deposited only in the pays account. You cannot encash at the bank. These checks are crossed by two parallel lines at the top left side of the checks. Now we will discuss the third one, that is the overdraft. So bank overdraft facilities are provided to the customers having current account, and they can withdraw more than the balance in their account. Means extra money that they withdraw from their bank account is known as, or it is called as, overdraft. This facility is provided on the security of some assets provided by the bank account holder. It is a most common and convenient method of bank lending, and it is available to the trustworthy customers for a shorter period of time. Interest is being charged by the bank. The next service provided to the bank customer is cash credit, where a borrower is allowed to withdraw a specific amount against some security for repayment. The borrower can withdraw up to the set cash credit limit. He can also deposit in bank any surplus amount from time to time, and the interest that is being charged in case of cash credit is only on the amount actually withdrawn, not on the entire amount granted. Means if the holder or if the customer has been given a cash credit of 50 lakhs, but at that moment if he is withdrawing only 40 lakhs, in that case the charges will be applicable only to the amount withdrawn, that is 40 lakhs of rupees. Clear? The next one is internet banking. Internet banking is also a type of service provided by the bank to their customers, also known as online banking. It means that banking services are provided over the internet. It is very simple, very fast, and very easy to operate all the time from anywhere. And the last one is mobile banking. Here bank allows their customers to perform banking transactions through a mobile device. These days internet banking and mobile banking are a hot trend because of we are more into the digital world. We will discuss internet banking and mobile banking later on in our next video. So now you have come to know the various services provided by the banks, various types of bank account, various types of banks, and what are the functions of commercial banks. Hope the things, the topics that were discussed in this video have been made clear to you all. So study hard, make the notes of the related topics by taking the help of NCERT book. Few things are not given in the NCERT book. For that you have to make notes from this video. Stay safe, stay home, and thank you for patience listening and attentive watching of the video. Thank you to all.